Universal Design for Learning helps educators and curriculum designers to create lessons that are accessible to all kinds of learners. Traditional methods of teaching are one size fits all, forcing learners to adapt as best they can, or fail. UDL helps designers incorporate methods of teaching and assessing that utilize all the most recent brain research. By incorporating the principles of UDL in our planning, we can set all learners up for success. The inspiration for Universal Design for Learning came from the universal design movement in architecture. Architects began to design buildings that were accessible and usable by people with all kinds of needs, building ramps, for example, in addition to stairs. These accommodations are challenging and expensive to add to a building once it has been constructed, so architects began to integrate multiple methods of access into their original plans. Universal Design for Learning utilizes two important ideas from this movement: ease of accessibility and accessibility by design, instead of as an afterthought. There are three guiding principles of Universal Design for Learning. Adhering to these principles when designing instruction ensures that the curriculum being designed will best serve the needs of all learners. The first principle is provide multiple means of representation. Some students may learn better through visual representations, others through auditory channels. Including multimedia resources in the classroom gives all learners the best chance for success. Students with visual or auditory disabilities may need further accommodations to give them access to the material being taught. The second principle is provide multiple means of action and expression. Traditional classrooms place a heavy emphasis on reading books and writing with a pencil and paper, but not all learners can perform their best work with these tools. Some learners will respond better when opportunities for physical action are built into lessons. For example, students can act out scenarios or physically move objects around to express their ideas. Math manipulatives can also be of some use to some students. Other students may be talented at storytelling, but struggle with setting that same story down on paper. Students should be given multiple modes of expression so that their strengths are always highlighted. The third principle of UDL is provide multiple means of engagement. Students have diverse needs when it comes to motivation. Some students need more encouragement and different kinds of encouragement than others. Student choice should be offered wherever possible, and the relevance of all material being taught should be emphasized. When appropriate, collaboration and group work can be utilized to help those students who respond well to this kind of work. Working with a partner can make learning more fun and interesting to some students. Having partners help one another can build understanding and mastery. Students should be encouraged to set goals in their work so they can see for themselves how much progress they're making. Later in this video, we'll discuss how technology is an important component of adapting a classroom to suit the needs of all learners, but there are also some important examples of adaptation in the physical environment of the classroom that can help all kinds of learners. Desks should be available in multiple heights within a classroom to accommodate students of different heights. Students who are easily distracted should be given a seat away from sources of distraction, like windows. Many elementary schools set up the students' desks and tables for easier collaborative work, but some students are easily distracted by their classmates and may need to turn their desks to the front of the room or separate them from their table in order to focus. Other students may need to simply get up and sit separately from their classmates when doing independent work in order to focus and get their work done. A space in the classroom can be made available for students who need this kind of accommodation. Some students have difficulty with fine motor skills and need accommodations to help with writing. There are pencils, pencil grips, and extra wide lined paper that students can utilize if these tools are present in the classroom. Large print books for students can help those with vision problems, and so can appropriate seating in the classroom. When choosing technology to integrate into lessons, educators must first consider what type of technology can deliver the message most effectively, and then they must also consider the needs of their students. Creating a learning profile of the class based on learning surveys or personal interviews with students can help teachers gain a better understanding of their students' needs. Because technology is so flexible, with many diverse uses, it plays a central role in Universal Design for Learning. Technology can help all kinds of learners, from the hearing or vision impaired to those with attention deficits as well as neurotypical learners of various learning styles and preferences. To help hearing-impaired students, teachers can seek out videos with captions that can be easily read by students. FM units that deliver the teacher's amplified voice directly to a student's ears can also be helpful. Visually impaired students can make use of audio podcasts or recording devices that allow them to take audio notes and play them back when convenient. Software such as Magic Screen Magnification allows students to drastically increase the size of the words or pictures they are viewing on the screen to make the information easier to visually process. Teachers can also project images, videos, and text on a smartboard, making the material easier to see. Another type of technology that can be adapted for students with different needs is the keyboard. There are keyboards that are smaller or larger than standard keyboards, and keyboards that can be adapted for use by left-handed students. Some keyboards can be adapted by the addition of braille markers or small bumps that indicate the location of certain important keys, helping students orient themselves tactilely on the keyboard. For students who struggle with motivation and engagement, teachers can increase the number of authentic projects they devise for their classroom. Collaborative group work can be tremendously interesting for students. Using technology such as wikis, blogs, glogs, and Google Drive can help students communicate with one another and display their work. Bringing a more social and cooperative spirit to the classroom can be revitalizing for students who feel isolated and uninterested when asked to work alone. Some students struggle with organization, and there are a number of terrific online graphic organizers to help them get their thoughts in order to complete their work. Bubble.us allows students to create and label interconnected bubbles in a kind of thought web. Kaku allows teachers to create online graphic organizers for students to utilize, and it also allows students to create their own graphic organizers, allowing them to take ownership of the process. Stixy allows students to create online bulletin boards, bringing together pictures and text and manipulating the information on the screen in any way they choose. This can help with the skills of classification and organization. The potential impact of universal design for learning is tremendous. By giving students greater access to information, allowing them to express themselves in comfortable ways, and building engagement and motivation, educators can establish a classroom environment that fosters success. Years ago, students with disabilities were excluded from the classroom and denied the expectation of success. Now there are many more students in our classrooms with diverse needs, and they are all expected to make progress. UDL gives these students access they would never have had in the past, and the chance they deserve to succeed and excel. Educators will be able to see diversity as an opportunity instead of as an obstacle. Students with different strengths can support one another and bring a deeper level of community to the classroom. Many elementary schools have classes that combine special education and general education students, and all classes combine students of different learning styles and preferences. Utilizing the principles of UDL means that, as Dr. Rose says, you change the material, not the learners. Students have innate talents and challenges, and while we can give them tools to help them try to overcome some of their challenges, the fact remains that they will have greater success if we play to their strengths and allow them to rely on their natural talents to make up for their deficits. Allowing them choice and autonomy will also increase student engagement and help them to take ownership of their learning. The three types of brain networks that Dr. Rose describes, recognition, strategic, and affective, can each be addressed with different types of technology and technology-supported activities. The recognition network, which processes patterns, can be taught by repetition and practice. There are many games available online that can allow students this kind of practice in subjects like math or science, where facts and algorithms are important. The strategic network, which processes actions and plans, can be addressed by encouraging critical thinking and collaborative work. Students can use technology to communicate with one another, to display and organize their work through wikis, blogs, or other means. The affective network, which processes emotions and evaluates patterns, can be addressed through technology that appeals to students' interest and builds background knowledge to increase engagement. Including other authentic experiences like field trips can also increase engagement.